superstar player, Wildcard may be missing that.
Absolutely. And as we move into Miramarl, the plane is in the air. I'm interested to see now for a team like Wildcard, a team that doesn't have a lot of experience together. They have some experience on the stage, but it's difficult to kind of work out the communications. As you said, you're still getting used to each other. But Wildcard now going to be jumping out of the plane relatively early. SSG is going to be following them. Vanquish, I didn't, they did a lot of killing last game.
Yeah,
a lot of points for that squad. Another team that has been interesting. There's lots of, I guess, filtration of talent to the point now where these mixed teams are going to be more prevalent.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk about Vanquish, you want to talk about a slow start. They, I think, have had the slowest start in NBL history. Do not quote me on that. I don't have an encyclopedia of point collection.
You're right.
But you just saw how far behind they were coming into last week. They have picked it up, but the gap is still leaving them in last place. And for them, I don't think there's any feasible mathematic way for them to crawl out of relegations. But I do like how they're going a little more aggressive. They're taking their fights a little more confidently, and it's about working it, building it up before relegations happens.
I can already hear the rustling of Toffee's notebook, flipping back page after page, looking for the point totals of every NBL team we've ever had here. But the dispersion is relatively simple, as we had a relatively middle plane path, and we'll see relatively where the circle is going to land here any second, as the center zone has always been dense, but this time we're headed to the north.
We've seen this circle a couple of times. The area just east of Crater Field is an interesting one to see teams maneuver around. It's one that you can get into some fights around this area, but it's also possible to limit those fights, similar to what we saw actually last game on the Georgia Pole Mountain. We saw some wins with very few kills of a team that's just taken center in this very circle, but we're going to see how it plays out. And this is a good opportunity for both Wildcard and Vanquish and SSG, teams who desperately need points at this stage in the game, to get a center position and start to hold down control.
Talking about SSG, 75 PGC points, and they're in the relegation window. Space Station Gaming, after last phase, I would never imagine seeing them where they are. Same thing with Ghost, having seen them perform. Obviously, last phase was great for Ghost and SSG, but both teams now finding themselves featured on that relegation precipice. And for SSG specifically, man, it's been a real fall for them. But really, the tragic case is those 75 points. They need, I think, I'm gonna go on the safety side here and say a 5th place finish to almost guarantee that they'd be able to go to PGC.
Yeah, and I think even like a 6th place is very, very likely of being able to go, depending on how the rest of the points do accrue out. But yeah, like they had a really good head start, but in 13th place or 12th place, wherever they are right now, it's
with one
really
good game,
yeah,
they could jump up and really put some pressure on both Player One Esports and Sonics. 2 or 3 good games, maybe depending on the outcome, they could get somewhere in the maybe window going into tomorrow. But we just have not seen any momentum from SSG. Speaking of momentum, Lazarus, 200 kills for the first time in this league. I would imagine that we've seen the 200 kill mark broken in a single phase. So shout out to Lazarus being able to get all these points, and really it's been carrying them to what's been a tremendous run.
Keeping 2nd place for Lazarus is very important because they didn't get that many points from phase 2, and phase 1 was so long ago that the points that they did grab there are very diminished. And so getting that automatic invite to PGC is incredibly important, and they're just chasing after Tempo Storm. They have a nice gap between them and 3rd, but the gap has not gotten any closer since the start of the day between them and the top position. And this circle, though, is perfect for them. You can see them immediately putting pressure onto Wildcard, forcing Wildcard away, basically bullying their way into the center of the circle.
And that's going to be a good position for them. I think this vantage point is something we've seen played a lot. Lazarus also had a very easy rotation to the center of the zone. So I think Lazarus is also a pretty decent Miramarl team at this stage. So I think this will be a game for them to try and excel and close the gap between Tempo, which is getting closer and closer as time goes on.
It's the mini-map, or not the mini-map, the full big map right now. Tempo Storm are currently in their own rotation. And the teams in Los Leones and past that, Riot Squad and Puerto Paraiso, have yet to move. And we're already 4.5 minutes in.
It's going to be a slow rotation for Riot Squad.
Yes.
I don't think they're going to be rushing to do essentially what Tempo's already doing, which is going to be rotating all the way north and likely coming in on the edge of the zone.
But the question is, when you also have Los Leones teams and even Rumblers to the west of them doing the same thing, will it get too crowded on that southeastern angle? Riot Squad, maybe they'll move up. Maybe Player One will go very far to the west and come in from the south. we'll have to see exactly what happens, but this could get a little tricky around the extremities.
It's always tricky around the extremities. You got to watch out for those. Low key, I would like to see maybe try and trap someone in rotation. Low key is not really the team that I would expect to see that from. But for P1E, they're also leaving the south of Leonis. A team that I think is still trying to learn the ropes of the NPL difficulty level. As last phase, they had some success, but it did kind of unwind towards the end. And now more of a expected position for them. Unfortunately, it's in the relegation window, but they're tied with Sonics, which have continued to kind of dwindle down. But really, it's still so close, Cam, in the middle of the leaderboard.
Yeah, we still have enough games to really shake it up a lot. Vegas here from Ghost, leapfrogging his way in. He took a position first, scouting out the positions ahead of him to allow Drassel to arrive at this compound safely. But here comes Genesis arriving at the same time.
This is going to be interesting. Looks like Drassel is going to veer off.
He's going to pull away.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of shots coming off the hill from Lazarus that's going to give him the idea that, nope, we don't want to stop here. And Shrimzy is going to follow suit. Now, this is an interesting hold from Genesis. Is this compound very flat to the south, a big hill just to their north? So it'll be kind of where they'll be spending likely the next couple of zones, Cam.
I don't think Genesis hate that Ghost left, because Ghost had an opportunity to go to another compound towards the north. That's where they're going right now. But Genesis, they had no other option. So in a way, they were forced into that fight, and it was all up to Ghost whether they wanted to take it or not. And a fight into the early game, it's not good for anyone, but we've seen it punish Genesis more often than not.
Well, it was kind of their MO. Like, they did battle a lot in the early and mid game, and that's where they were getting a lot of their points in the last phase, even in this phase when they were having success in the early stages. But I think just some of the mojo has left Genesis, and maybe the tentative confidence loss, whatever you want to call it, has been really making it difficult for them to transition whatever success they have in the mid game into the late game, unless they have that position. So we'll see now if they get lucky in that situation.
You can see how center everyone wants to be, because there are fields to the east, there are extreme mountain ridges to the west side, close to El Pozo, and then, well, up north, the value of going up there isn't super strong at this state. You see a couple of teams still arriving towards the south side, but if this one hardships on the second circle, we could see a lot of action very early on in this game.
You know, in talking to Riot Squad and a couple of folks around the arena, I had no idea that Leda and Mystery are actually cousins. And not only that, they went to high school with Waldo in Chicago.
It's a small world.
It is a very small world, especially in the North American pro scene. So,
and now that song is stuck in everyone's head. You're welcome.
Wildcard, they've got a nice little vantage point. They've got Ghost right at the foot of their hill, and Ghost is slowly inching over. Now, this is probably one of the better positions we've seen Ghost in the mid game, as they shouldn't have too much pressure coming directly onto their compound, but how they want to manage it and if they want to stay here is the question.
The concern is they're on the low ground right now. If they can somehow sneak up to Wildcard without being noticed and take this fight, it could work out for them. But if they want to engage Wildcard much later than right now, they can get third party quite easily. Rumblers taking some shots onto a passing player one. Not too much damage onto that Morado. And this, unfortunately, puts Rumblers now on the back foot, as they're going to be following up behind player one. And if this circle shifts towards the southwest, where these two teams are going to be entering from, player one could easily make the decision to just pull up on Rumblers and take this fight.
Microfry switching out for the two-seater. Wise choice on this terrain, as Rumblers don't have a very difficult path into the zone, and as they like to play on the edge, we will likely see them just on the southwest, just kind of chilling as a crate falls in their path if they decide to go north of Monte Nuevo. Meanwhile, the center of the zone, extremely dense, as Wildcard and Ghost, tentative neighbors, and we're going to see a circle shift come in rapidly, as you can see there for yourselves just how crazy that center of the zone is going to get, and it's going to shift all the way east. And that's going to put Genesis dead in the middle.
This is really good for Riot Squad as well as Genesis. You can see Riot Squad immediately bombing for a more central compound. There's a little bit of a field. It's not as bad as some of the games that we saw yesterday. But look at Vegas immediately retreating. Does not want to take this fight against Wildcard. Wants to get center, and a little bit of damage, though, onto one of their players. May slow down their retreat, may slow down their rotation, but everyone's trying to bomb for center. For the teams on the west side of the circle, though.
That was Drassel hobbling out of view, both in-game and out, as the trip into the ocean was not good for his glasses or his lower body. Vegas still on rotation. Riot Squad, I don't know. I was going to say they're still in their vehicles. I don't think they're ready to try and catch Ghost, who take the gas station just outside of the water treatment plant.
Both of these compounds are on the low ground, but they're really close to center. And then once we go into the third circle, we could see a lot of action from these guys. Though I think it's going to be quiet aside from just shooting at each other for the next couple of minutes. Drassel's arriving right now. You can see Tempo Storm also setting up shop on the northern side, and that's actually a really good position for them to make something huge happen this game.
Genesis has decided to hang on to the 2-2, and I don't dislike that, but I was wondering if they would maybe want to stay as 4 in case anyone decided to crash. But the compound that Nerf is at is just very difficult to get to, very open all around that. Lazarus has a good vantage point. They've been harassing teams in movement, and Endemic and Vanquish have still yet to figure out how to get into the zone, as well as Player One Esports and Rumblers on the southern side. As, again, edge play is going to be the name of the game. If you're late to the center now, it's going to be so difficult to get there.
What's fortunate for Rumblers, Vanquish, and all those guys coming in super late is that there's a lot of free space open on the southeast side. The reason there's a lot of free space, though, is because of the fields around Hacienda. If it ends there, it's not going to be very fun to have to push through that area. Genesis, E United, Riot Squad could all easily punish those players. And so I can imagine that some of them may just want to take the area south of E United, south of San Martin, and use that sort of hilltop to try and scout through. But most people are able to find at least some small position to hold on to right now. Player One Rumbler still neck and neck, still rubbing shoulders. David, though, readies his gun. I wonder if Lamplot's going to want to stop on these guys or if they want to continue their rotation while sort of, I guess, poking and prodding.
Waldo stopped. He's on the corner there. He's looking to try and pounce on Player One Esports. Headshot lands. Can't get the follow-up. Oh, they hit the post and stop. All of Player One Esports looking to commit. Oh, maybe not. Looks like half of them are leaving. And now it's going to be Lamplot going down first to Los HD on the high side. And here comes the mini from Waldo, trying to avoid taking any more damage. Nice angle and a quick wipe. Rumblers pick up all 4. Player One Esports out of the game first.
Player One stopping on the Rumblers. Maybe it could have worked out for them, but they get torn to pieces in seconds. That's a good start for the Rumblers. Moody right now, scouting ahead for Envy, coming face to face, coming to the doorstep of SSG, and he's gonna pull away. Doesn't want to commit just yet because his teammates have yet to arrive. They are quite split off. Team Envy not the ones necessarily to go for huge crash fights in the early game. Instead, they like to set up shop and wait for teams to come to them. But Space Station Gaming, they're in a little bit of a quiet spot right now. It's not too obvious of a position, and they're waiting for teams to approach their position as well.
So you can see on the bottom of the screen, Genesis is rejoining each other. It looks like there is a knock on that team. Zenith pressuring, SSG. They're going to have to move as well, as we are centering up actually right as where Ghost is, just outside the water treatment plant. They have the gas station. And see, here's HWin. He's the man down, and they're trying to go for the res. K-Mine, this is a precarious position.
Yeah, that knock actually is quite impactful. The reason why Genesis have stuck on the split is because it's really easy sightlines, especially with K-Mine and HWin, or Nerf chilling on
baby.
the roof. And Nerf right now with the grenade out. Lazarus coming into the compound. That one could be money.
I think Profi did get the initial down onto Civ, and now it's going to be Nerf and Profi defending. HWin likely medding at this stage, but Civ waiting for the res to come. Alo getting a little bit of pressure from SSG, but they are going to stick it. They can't get aggressive here, can Profi or Nerf, just because they don't have the support of K-Mine and HWin yet.
But SSG, who just heard the position that Lazarus left, well, in the meantime, it's actually Envy in their own rotation, gets stopped on by E United, and they lose their player, a player that has been so impactful. But back here onto Lazarus, they've met it up, and they've pushed ever closer to Genesis, but the backup has arrived. It's now the 4v4, and Nerf.
Nice nade. Beautiful nade there from Alo. HWin gets taken down. Nerf trying to land shots, but more pressure coming. Turns his back on the enemy. Got to be careful there, as they are getting right up in the grill of Genesis. Luke 12 on the high side. The railing kind of bails him out. Both players taking damage. No one goes down. HWin has been re-knocked, as I mentioned. K-Mine looking for maybe an angle, but right now it's all Nerf in the foreground with his teammates behind.
You can see the shots from SSG also coming in, trying to third party this. Look how close Purdy is with Nerf right now.
Oh, he
Nerf
went upstairs.
Forced to go to the top floor, and Alo is going to be following up as well. Lazarus, they're just going pushing closer and closer, but no, deciding to retreat. They don't want to take this. It's not so comfortable for them right now. And they're okay just holding down this compound until they get another knock. That nade just barely doesn't make its way inside.
This is the angle from Heteroar with the SLR from very long distance. SSG not one to want to cross over and try and make something happen. Don't want to make it a total party just yet. Riot Squad also on the other side. So right now, ooh, actually that was good. What a shot from Heteroar. That's through 2 windows and at long distance. And now, again, Genesis has to find themselves on the back foot.
Lazarus don't take advantage of it, though. They're certainly aware that Nerf was knocked, but they want to wait for more, and that could be it. H-Twin goes down. Alo's going aggressive. Able to get the flush. That's a good start. The smoke also allows him to push into the building.
This is now where Lazarus wants to get aggressive, but Purdy taking damage, Civ half health, and it hasn't really done anything. Baja takes down Profi from distance as well, and SSG is actually having much more impact on this fight than I would have thought. It's only K-Mind left standing as the zone closes, and Rumblers have set up yet another trap for Pat Caps, and there goes the vehicle as well as the flailing body, as Envy has just not been able to find a way into the zone.
It's just Pride and Interrogate lagging far behind. You can see them trying to bomb for some place, but with this field in the center, where can they go? The fight between Genesis and Lazarus is still going strong, and it's actually going to be Genesis torn to pieces by Lazarus, as well as SSG from range. Lazarus are wounded. Alo revived just in time, and now they're holding down this compound. But how long do they have before they get bombed upon?
SSG only got 1 kill out of that because they were helping Lazarus essentially with that long distance damage onto Genesis. But ultimately it was Lazarus picking up all the kills, and now SSG is going to follow suit. They have basically allowed Lazarus to reset and receive them, as everyone has to make a mad dash into the zone. SSG is crashing Lazarus, and Tiggleton does knock himself elsewhere. Luke is going to get the opener onto Baja, and it's going to be JSEC following in. The quick flush there. Luke is going to pick up that kill. And now it looks like SSG is just arriving really late. On top, Civ is doing a lot of damage to JSank. They're all grouped up. Purdy's in prime position. He steps out. He can catch them all. Oh, he's right on the edge, looking for it. He's going to step across. Purdy's right there. The spray comes out. Hetror down. JSank is not moving at all. This feels like Lazarus is just walking all over Space Station.
Yeah, Space Station arrived, but then they weren't able to force anything open. The first knock went against them, and it was just an easy cleanup for Lazarus. They were able to regroup immediately when the crash happened. Sonic's here. They're crashing in onto Zenith. They did. Oh, Tiggleton able to get revived, and the nades start to come out to Usurp Zenith. A good nade to open it up onto Patron.
I have to wonder if JSank was in client when that happened, but regardless, it was SSG getting completely wiped, and now it's going to be Zenith and Sonics going at it. All 4 for Sonics. Patron down. And now it's 3 left standing. Looking for the angle is Roth with the spray.
He's backing off, though. Doesn't want to commit just yet. They did lose a teammate. It's now a 3 versus 4. I believe Sonic's still with good strength, but they don't have a knock against them just yet. And it's actually Roth is by himself because his teammates are way off in the distance. And I believe they're actually just going to let him be. He's going to retreat out the back. Sonic's not going aggressive onto the position because they are just barely inside the circle, and they need to put their focus towards the center because they can't play. Like, they got to play a couple of circles ahead. That's how you play this game. But Roth sneaking around the side may be able to find an angle and ruin their plans.
Roth is by himself here. Kendo and Walter are completely far away. They're not anywhere near able to help. And Roth is just looking for maybe a couple of points here onto Sonics. Tony V in the sights. And that's going to be Tiggleton going down first. Another spray coming from Roth on this site. Oh, he's reloading. Got caught with his pants down there, as Willie will clean up an easy one, as Tiggleton will be rezzed.
The COD reload really not working out for Roth there onto Zenith, and now they're down to 2, and Sonics able to keep 4 up. We have questioned their ability to get into the late game, but now that they have 4 up late game, this is where they really start to shine. They're on the edge. But if they can get a couple of knocks against Zenith, they could easily rush in onto this position. This compound could be quite crucial, but you can see the open path they have ahead of them. It's not going to be easy.
Lazarus has 7 kills already between SSG and Genesis. And now we've got Ghost in the center. Tempo's also got a compound along with Riot Squad. And this is going to be the circle now where United and United and Rumblers are going to be forced off the south. You can kind of see the dispersion of teams where they're sitting, and this is going to be the critical moment as the circle is going to shift on to Riot Squad as well as Tempo and Ghost. So they don't really have to move too far at all. And now there's going to be a lot of teams looking for homes.
Ghost and Riot Squad can just sit pretty. Everyone else is going to fight amongst themselves on who can come in from what angles. Lazarus going loud.
They want as many kills as they can get. It's going to be really hard for Lazarus here.
Exactly, and that's what a lot of teams are in. That's the position that a lot of teams have found themselves in. If they can get a knock onto Sonics, maybe they can wrap down south. But they're going to want to start moving soon.
That's a random headshot land. I think Luke is just picking up damage everywhere he can find it, just spraying at random. And he actually hit a headshot way back onto Sonics. Here's United and Rumblers. Rumblers on their vehicles walking right into Stab. And that's going to be now another team fight unfolding as Rumblers try and dislodge United.
No down just yet. Rumblers now have a position to counterattack. Los off on the far flank, and Cherry Poppins inside the buildings. United prone down. Taylor J caught running away. Stab. Oh, it looks he may have been discovered as well by Microfry, and they're taking a lot of damage.
Baby. Easy
headshots. Meanwhile, Zenith do get deleted.
So now this is back to Lazarus and Sonics. They wanted kills, and just like that, Tiggleton's been flushed as well as Tony V. Wooly sticking the res onto Keenan as Lazarus continues to pick up kills, now at 9.
They have the high ground. They can also get spotted from everyone else, so they want to go quickly onto this. Alo finding a nice bowl to hang out in, and he's going to try and scout out other positions ahead of him. Finds a nice angle onto low key. But now they continue to push down to Sonics.
This is why Lazarus just has so much damage. They are constantly attacking, never slowing down. It looks like Luke wants to get frisky. Likely going to want to crash this. Nade's starting to come out. They want to clean out Sonics as they really want this real estate. And now it's going to be the shots landing. Beautiful spray onto Wooly. He was caught out and taken down, and now it's only Keenan defending against all 4 of Lazarus. Sonics on the ropes.
He's got no time for the revive. And Lazarus come flushing in. You can see them wrap around, coming in from multiple angles.
2 peek coming in.
2v1. Easy peek.
Trades there. Oh no! Alo didn't step up and help Purdy. They did not double peek it correctly. Maybe Alo took damage from the Rumblers, had to back away. It did cost them a player, and it's gonna maybe cost them another one as Civ goes down in the back line. Rumblers, after finishing United, have taken their sights and put them squarely on Lazarus.
Losing Purdy with the spray through the smoke to get finished could be disastrous for Lazarus. Right now, Wildcard pushing forward into low key, but no, Rumblers coming back onto Lazarus' position, not able to pick up on Civil just yet. It is just Alo and Luke to try and defend themselves, and Los on the angle, not even wasting time healing, gonna toss a grenade, and this one could be good.
Oh, what a beautiful grenade, taking down Alo as well. Los is probably gonna die to the zone. Oh no, it's so close. Los will manage to get the nade kill, the clutch med, and now he's taking it to Lazarus. By the way, Rumblers have 10 kills as well.
10 kills already. Coming in late to the circle, holding off the edges, holding off the extremities. And they're making it work and get a lot of points. Get 11th for themselves as Alo is finished up, but Los backs away.
That was really aggressive, and I was wondering if that was going to work for the Rumblers. And just the timing, the beautiful grenade, and now the circumstance leave Luke by himself 11 kills. He's got a small spot in the zone. Rumblers have to move as well, and this circle has shifted back onto Riot Squad, who are center of the zone along with Ghost.
But you can also see Ghost looking towards their direction. This could help Luke, but it's going to be trying to peek onto Los. Los is running away, but doesn't land any shots.
This is a relatively pure 1v1, as it looks like the rest of the Rumblers are battling with Riot Squad, so we'll see who gets the upper hand. The Finn or the OCE boy. The young Luke 12 versus the veteran Los HD. Another nade primed. He's been so money with those so far. Long cook right in the pocket. Bounces close, does 50% damage. Luke goes for the re-peek. Los, he's circling like a shark. He's looking for any angles. This is the pure patience. This is last season's top fragger versus this season's top damage dealer. And it's going to be Microfry, taking him down with a headshot at distance. That's what they call anticlimactic.
We were wondering if the Rumblers off distance could help Los. And they are going to be able to at least hold down the one angle that Los is banking on them, holding the fight between Loki and Wildcard is coming apart. Wildcard on the low ground, the nade coming through, but look at the damage traded back and forth. Pistola retreats, and they still have 2 up, but the kills are finished, and that's going to be low-key finished as well in 7. 6 remaining, but the blue is pushing in, and Wildcard need to figure out how to continue their own push into the circle, into Ghost Gaming, who are looking right on their direction. Molotov, maybe able to find something.
Just chuck the Molotov, as now it's going to be Ghost just feasting on Wildcard. That's going to be the first kill of the game, by the way. That nade lands real close enough to do damage to Pistola. They're all going to come alive now. Ghost having stocked the shelves. They filled the cars up. Actually, Drassel goes down. Pistola time is going to get 1. I think they're getting extra damage, but McCoy will clean it up, and the res will come. And there's Los just, again, back in the background, trying to get some damage done.
Almost got the second onto Ghost, but here is the position that Ghost can come alive. On the low ground, we knew that they weren't going to have an easy time getting kills, but here's where they can start to collect them, and they already cleaned up Wildcard. But now they got to look towards Nice. Storm, finishing off Vanquish, but they're wounded themselves. There wasn't a lot of opportunities that they had. And so hiding behind these hay bales is not the best of positions, and they're going to have to keep moving closer towards center. Riot Squad holding down the only compound in the game.
This is, you know what, Los could potentially do a lot of damage depending on what the circle does. He can maintain the high ground. Cherry is, well, he's somewhere, but Tempo Storm does have a small edge. Riot Squad definitely have the strongest position in the zone now, as it's going to be a matter of how many more kills can Los HD rack up before this game is done.
30 seconds before the circle starts to close in, and at the distance that he needs to travel into the compound, he might want to start moving soon. You're going to see him peeking around, trying to find the angles. Where is he at risk of getting shot at from? And where can he deploy a safer smoke line to go through? Tempo Storm, they're getting into a vehicle, trying to send it even closer, trying to set up a crossfire, but Leda ruins that opportunity by knocking down Zampa.
Oh, Los steals it. I was going to say he's wide the open, and that's going to be another kill going to the Rumblers, as Riot Squad still have 4. And now it's going to be a question, what can Ghost do? This is where they kind of get into trouble, Cam, where they have to make a play into the zone off the edge. They don't, I don't know, they should have all their utility. They haven't had to move too much, but they haven't really been making any plays just yet. The circle's closing slowly. They do have a small edge to hang on to. I mean, if they want to hang on to the edge of the zone and wait for teams to get eliminated, but Ghost really needs to start getting some more points.
But how can you get
I guess
points
you can't really get anything.
Yeah, it's an incredible, difficult procedure right now. Hopefully for Ghost's sake, if the Rumblers distract Riot Squad long enough, they could take that opportunity to push forward, because Riot Squad's compound is quite wide, and they're going to need to commit heavily and bite off a lot more than perhaps they can chew to hold the entire thing. Nades coming out by Los. Not exactly going to find them. Cherry Poppin's trying to follow up as well. Riot Squad, they're spread out enough that they're going to need a lot of nades in order to upset them.
Yeah, Ghost really doesn't have a lot of options, do they, Cam? As they kind of, oh, they are moving now. They're going to move out on foot, at least trying to probe out, see if anyone shoots back. Nade lands close to both Los. Now it's going, oh, this could be a pivotal grenade. That should land pretty damn close to Los HD. Just a little bit short, as Mystery on the outside looking to try and prevent any push into the warehouse. Meanwhile, Ghost in the background is moving.
But this is huge, though. Rumblers able to make their way inside the circle and add an extra threat range onto Riot Squad. If Sharky gets deleted by Ghost, Riot Squad may end up being put in a difficult sandwich to try and hold off. They're going to want to take this opportunity right now to finish and flush out the Rumblers before they go up against Ghost.
Nice placed nade. Oh, just barely survives. Just Los going to stick another first aid kit. The Molly follow-up. That one's going to land close to Cherry. He's in the truck. As VZ goes down to McCoy, and they have taken good control of the zone, has Ghost Gaming. They moved out. That's what we were hoping to see, and they've done just that. Now they've got tremendous vision onto the Riot Squad compound.
Leda trying to peek up towards Ghost, keep them at bay while they figure out what they're going to do with this situation, but they're taking a bit of time. But let's listen in on how Ghost are handling this end game.
I don't have any.
Yeah, we should just try to kill Tempo.
Any playable spot near you guys?
You can come to me once we kill Tempo, but until then, I'm in a bad spot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm prone right now. I mean, Sharky moves on this zone. Sharky moves on this zone.
Okay.
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
We might just be prone again.
I'm gonna drive in.
Drive to me on my rock. Go to the far side of my rock. Far side, far side, far side. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're...
Okay.
Keep going. I'll do it.
I don't have a helmet.
Move. I can't see that guy shooting at you.
I think they popped the tire?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Sharky's proning in. I don't see him. We need to kill Sharky here. Yeah.
I'm on the right side of the warehouse outside.
I'm just shooting grab.
I don't see him either.
He's just proning in somewhere. On the tractor. Yeah.
I think. He's dating me? I'm moving back.
He's on tractor. He just ran to it. Come on. He's behind tractor.
My
Do you want me to detonate? No, you're fine.
He's in on tractor.
Left side tractor. Yeah, tractor's not in.
I lost my helmet.
Yeah.
He died to play zone.
Outside
So
the
You guys need
outside the warehouse
to
on
try
the
to
right
get green, I
side.
think. You guys need to try to get green with the car before we lose it.
That's phase 8. That's center.
Yeah, you guys need to try to get that. Okay, I'm trying.
I knocked
Nice.
twice.
Go off that, go off that.
That's
Wait
a
for
run
two
guy.
teams in compound. Yeah, it might be 3 teams in compound. Yeah, so it's 3 teams in compound.
Can you guys hold?
Or no,
Yes,
run
yes,
with the
go,
fight.
go,
Run
go.
with the fight against Lazarus.
Okay.
Run just
I'm in.
It's only RS in compound. I attacked too. I lit
I
him
have
too.
no helmet. I have no helmet. I have no helmet.
I can't shoot that guy shooting at you. Just stay alive, stay alive. You guys just need to not die.
I'm kind of in a horrible spot
I
here,
fucking
guys.
jumped. Yeah, we are too.
You guys have smokes for us?
No.
I only have one.
We gotta kill them on the left side of the compound, or we're in a bad spot.
One's jumping right side.
Nice headshot.
People on the left still. They're running out left.
Let me know when you see one in smoke. I'll nade.
Oh, okay, I can't see anything.
I'm moving up, McCoy. Can you cover?
Yeah,
Top?
I'm gonna try to move too.
You want me to cross and play spoiler if I can?
No.
I'm using my last first aid. I'm using my last first aid. Anyone have one for me?
Yeah, I dropped one next to you.
Okay.
We need to make sure they don't get left. We have that dots in road. So we just need to try to get knocked.
I'm gonna stun that smoke.
I'm just pre-firing.
He's still bottom left long.
Yeah, there's some
Can I
sitting
come
there
up to you,
building.
Vegas? Can I come up to you?
Yeah, you try to get the Vegas.
They're running out of long.
I'm going to
side.
Vegas.
One in smoke left side.
Nice. Nice, 2 knock, only one up.
Finished. He's middle of the road.
Nice,
Nice.
fuck
Let's
that.
go, guys.
And just like that, Ghost
Go.
Gaming off the play from the water treatment gas station take a 6-kill victory.
Only 6 kills, but it's understandable from that position why there weren't that many available to them. And